Good morning everyone. Today's video we're going to do a kind of fairly detailed guide on how I've managed to clear Aviator here in Woodhill Bike Park in Auckland, New Zealand. Now for those not familiar, Aviator is a double black jump trail, lots of wood, lots of consequences for getting it wrong. It's taken me sort of nearly 2 years to actually get this far. So anyway, I thought we'd make a wee video for you. Okay, so why do I want to make a video of me doing this jump? Well, I've become a little bit of a barometer, if you like, in the local area for how hard or not a jump is to do, or a track. And I know this because I get stopped a lot, and you know, Dad will say, me and my son watched the video, we both hit it up, and we loved it, thanks very much, and we never would have done it without your video. This worries me a bit though as well, because I always think, well, what happens if that same dad came up to me and said, we watched the video, my son did it, he broke both his legs and he's in a bit of a bad way now, all thanks to your video. And I'd feel really bad if, yeah, through my video someone got really hurt. So I'm going to make a fairly detailed video, and then you can decide for yourself as to whether this is something for you, and if I can avoid an accident by giving you a bit of advice, well, that's got to be a good thing, don't you reckon? Okay, so let's talk danger. This track has had its fair share of carnage. It was closed for a long period of time, got reopened recently, and then got closed again after another accident. This is actually the biggest jump on the old track, and it used to just have a wooden retaining wall, and this is what took me so long to get this track, is that 2 times I attempted it, I hit my back wheel on the retaining wall, and to be honest, it scared the hell out of me. But they put a big case pad here, they've done other things to make it safer, and I'll probably point those out as we go around. And that's always the dilemma, I think, with the bike park, is that do you make the track with high consequences, and then only the very competent riders will attempt it, and you will get less accidents, but when you do have accidents, they're going to be severe? Or do you put padding and case pads and all that sort of stuff to make it safer and also appear safer? A good example is the surgeon's table, and they call it a surgeon's table because if you don't make it, you need surgery. But they put mulch and brought the ground level up so that if you come off of it, it's going to be a softer landing. It's still exactly the same to do, it's just it's got a softer landing. So, but that of course encourages more and more people to attempt it, and therefore you get more and more accidents. So which is it better, to have lots of less severe accidents or fewer severe accidents? Personally, I don't mind the odd case pad, and I don't mind a little bit of safety, because at my age I cannot afford to hit the ground, it hurts too much. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. But anyway, we're off to the top now. Alright, we made it to the top. First feature, it's not even really a feature, anyone can ride this, just a little wooden table. But what you do want to do is, on the downslope, just catch the downslope. It's really easy if you come flat stick, just a flat land down there, and that's not very pleasant. So yeah, if you possible, try and catch that downslope, and on to the next feature. Alright, so next feature, you can either double this or just roll it. I tend to roll. I think I sneak in a couple of pedal strokes. You don't have to go super fast for this, but you don't want to go slow either. You want to try and maintain as much speed as you can. Certainly there's no braking involved, a couple of pedal strokes don't hurt. And then just pop onto this. Now if this worries you in the slightest, then I would not be looking at the rest of this track, because this is a lot easier, but at least you could practice this and build up to it, and literally just ride straight off the end. There's nothing involved in that. And likewise, this next jump is pretty straightforward. Just ride straight off the ramp. I say, you don't need to pedal. You'll have plenty of speed, and then you clear it. Now the next feature is the drop, and this is the most critical part, I believe, of the whole track, because to clear the jump at the bottom, you need to have enough speed, and the speed is all generated on this little puppy. So you come out here, and you drop off, and you can see there's a wooden transition down the bottom there, and then on to the next one. Alright, Alright, now some of you will probably at the intro think, Lance, you're an idiot, you were sitting on the jumps down there, what happens if somebody had come? Well, A, it's during the week and pretty much it's unlikely anyone's going to come down, but also this wooden ramp, every time someone hits it, it makes quite a noise, and so it's a good warning if you're looking at the tracks down the bottom, you'll get a heads up about 10-15 seconds in advance that someone's coming down and you just get out the way, so that's useful. So the big question is, how much speed do you need to hit this drop at? And that, as I say, is the really important thing. You could go too slow, but you have to be going pretty slow. It's very easy to actually flatland this and to land all the way at the bottom, and that isn't very pleasant at all. In fact, why don't we scoot down there? So as I said, speed is kind of critical for this, because you get enough speed for this, you can hold that speed all the way to the bottom and you can get the big jump at the end. If you're too slow here, you're too slow for the next one, you're trying to make speed and it's very hard to make speed on this track. It's very easy to lose speed, and that's one of the cool things about this track is that it's a technical track. It's not just a matter of being brave and going fast. It's very technical, and getting each piece right is critical to doing the whole line. I actually crashed on this jump once. Shall I show you that? Yeah, why not? What did you think of that crash? That video, Little Shorts, had 640,000 views or something, and the funny thing is there were so many comments. And what do you think caused that crash? My chain came off on the drop, locked up the rear wheel, and I had a choice of either trying to continue the jump with potentially the rear wheel locked up on takeoff, or to try and stop. I tried to stop and I ended up going over the bars on this jump. But some of the comments, most of the comments said I chickened out, I got scared, you can jump without a chain, I need a chain device. Yeah, there were so many comments telling me I was basically a moron and I didn't know what I was doing. But it does show you that even on a track like this, you can do it hundreds of times, and some little thing goes wrong, and as I say, you hit it when it's wet, and as I say, it just goes different. In fact, recently I did this track, and I'd done it so many times, and I went off the edge in a place that I'd never done before. So yeah, you really need to be mindful that even if you've done it loads of times, it can still go wrong. So I really concentrate every time I do this. So I still really haven't explained how much speed you need for this thing. I brake every time, but I like to land near the bottom of the transition as it gives me lots of speed. I used to land at the top, but I find I get more speed if I land near the bottom, but I don't want to land flat. The best way, and then you come into this next jump, and I like to really pop this thing, but the best way to get the speed is to come out here, watch people, get someone to tow you in. I think it's much better than doing this one blind, because you could really get it wrong doing it blind. And on this jump, this is not too bad, but you can see it has a big case pad on the top, so it's quite forgiving. But to get the rest of it, you really, really want that transition there. You really want to get onto that. All right, so now we're officially into the new section. That old section was there first. I actually pedal into this. In fact, I think I almost pedal off the end of this ramp. This is a tricky bit here in that I don't like corners, and I don't brake at all on this. That's the hard bit for me. I don't brake at all. And on this wooden feature, which is where they've actually painted grippy paint on, because I think someone did it in the wet and skidded sideways and probably went into the wood and hurt themselves badly. But it is quite a commitment, because you are hitting that wood slightly off camber and you're not braking and you're going flat out. Then you want to clear onto this thing. If you hit the transition on this, you will make the next bit, but if you case any of that, then pull out. You're not going fast enough. But yeah, you definitely, as you say, you've got to come around a corner, you go as fast as you can, you lean into the wood, you jump, you land as far down this thing as you can, and then this is the bit that scares most people. Actually doesn't worry me too much. I have cased it going too slow, but yeah, this is probably a nasty injury if you come short, and the gap's bigger than you think. Of course, on GoPro it'll look small. Some people will say it's not even a double black, but trust me, if you come here, it's a double black in any bike park anywhere in the world. And I will gladly argue that case with anybody. All right, and then you come off. Coming off is not a problem. If you've got up there and you've got rolling speed, you'll get off of here. And this is the bit that's really difficult for me. Now, I always think it's funny how everyone has features that they find difficult. And recently when I first got over, the reason I got over the big jump down the end there is that Brooke did it, and then as soon as Brooke did it, well, I didn't have much choice really. But he was scared of doing this one here first. And a lot of people are nervous about this one, and I'll show you why. Again, you get on the surgeon's table, you get off here, that's not difficult. But again, it's a corner, it's a berm. Now you can bypass it if you don't want to do it, and that is one cool thing. You can do each feature on its own and pull out. You don't have to commit to the next one. But yeah, a lot of people don't like this because you're literally almost doing a turn. I just come wide. Again, do not brake, do not brake, do not touch your brakes. And if you don't touch your brakes and send that, you should be pretty good. I'm not sure. I think they've actually put clay in there as well. I think that used to be a retaining wall as well, so they've made it safer in terms of if you do come short. In fact, we were talking before on the surgeon's table, you can see how they've built it. Used to the ground level used to be all the way down here, and it used to look really, really high. It looks close to the ground, but they've just effectively built the ground up all around it, just to make it a little bit more forgiving if you come off. Now the challenge for me, as I say, I did this big one coming up next twice. Used to just have a wooden retaining wall on it, and both times I cased it. And even with a new one, on Zach's first attempt, well, he's only done it once so far, but on his first attempt, do you want to see that? All right. Oh, are you kidding? You just blew the tire, mate. You're a legend. So yeah, well, he didn't. I mean, it was a case, I guess. He certainly he broke a spoke and put it through the rim tape, and all the air came out, and that was the end of his day. But I think he's got it. He's definitely got it. But it does show you that even without braking, for us old blokes on e-bikes, we don't have enough speed. Now that's the difficult thing with speed and talking videos, is that a young kid on a lightweight bike is going to need a different speed than a big heavy guy on a big bike. And so I can give you some of my guidance, but it's not always the same. And I struggle to follow some people down, especially young kids, because they'll pop real high and everything like that, and I'm just catching them constantly, and so then I'm having to brake, and then I can't clear the jumps. So everyone's speed's different, so often it's really good if you can get a friend who's about the same weight as you and try and rides the same, and I always find that really, really helps. But this, yeah, you need speed. So when you come off this jump here, you land, and well, I do, the moment I land, I try and throw in a pedal stroke. I can often only get one in because they're so close together. And then ideally, if you can pedal, and then you've got to try and pop as well, which is the challenge for me, is to pedal and pop. I'm still only making it. I know a lot of people clear this easily, but a lot of people have come up short. And as you can see, they've added all this huge big case pad here to effectively, you know, if you come up a bit short, you're not going to end up in hospital with broken bones. And then the final jump is actually, once you've done that, if you've done all the rest, this is a piece of cake. It looks a little bit scary because it's kind of a hip, but I kind of pretty much make a straight jump out of it, really. Sort of go up to the right, turn to the left, and then just jump over there somewhere, and that's pretty straightforward. All right, well, I guess we better go to the top and do a full run for you. What do you think to that? All right, I'll get find my helmet and my bike, and we'll do that. Alrighty, one full run. So we just pop in from over the road here. Along here is where I sort of just work out what gear, that's about right, because I do need to pedal further down. Little pop over there, that's perfect. I just roll, a couple of pedal strokes there, just pop up onto there, pop down. That's easy as. You want to brake here, just slow up a little, and then right to the bottom almost. Then you can see a big jump, couple of pedal strokes right off the end. Don't brake, that's it. Terrifying, but pop off of that. Again, that's round the corner, pedal. Oh, yep, and we done it. Oh, happy with that, happy with that. Okay, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to say, yeah, but you're on an e-bike and that's different and it gives you an advantage. I'm not really sure what the advantage is other than it's heavier, because at no point you pedal it off the road and as soon as you pop into the forest, the motor cuts out and any pedaling you do is without a motor. So it's just a heavier bike. But just to keep you guys happy, I pulled out the Transition Sentinel. I have done one run down. My speed was off a little bit. I've got to try and adjust that. But let's see how far we can get. Right, I think the secret to try and keep as much speed going as you can. That was good. That was good. Alrighty, we cleaned it on the steamer. Whew. Now I'm going to walk up the hill. Alright, so what did we learn? Well, maybe this old bloke is not quite past it yet. You can do it on an e-bike or a steam bike. They're not that different. I think the overall bike rider weight has probably got a bigger factor than anything. I did put a little bit of extra air in the tyres. Personally, I would not do this track without running Michelin tyres, but it's up to you whether you want to take the risk. If you are going to do this track, I would strongly recommend doing it with someone who already knows how to do it, similar ability to you, and they can sort of show you the speeds, because the speeds are quite critical, I think, for this track. Go too slow and it compounds its way down the track because it's very hard. There's very few places to put in pedal strokes and make up time. Hopefully, as I say, if you're going to do it, just be careful. And then if you do munt yourself, don't say, Lance, it was your fault. I followed your advice and look what's happened to me. I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. It's taken me most of the day to film that. It's taken quite some time with all those cameras and shots and things like that. And if that doesn't make you want to subscribe, I made a sandwich and I dropped it on the sand. All the filling fell out and all I got to eat for lunch was 2 bits of bread with sand on. Anyway, it's up to you whether you want to subscribe. Maybe a thumbs up, like, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.